Imagine this, a simple glass of wine in your hand. Now, what if that single sip could unlock, well, a whole new world of friendship, learning, and surprising discoveries right in your own neighborhood?
It absolutely can, yeah.
Yeah.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into how you can cultivate a, a truly thriving local wine community.
Right.
Our mission here is to extract not just the practical steps, but, the profound benefits from our source. We want to show you how to transform casual sips into genuinely meaningful connections.
And our expert guide for this journey is Wineful Living by Mia Gibson. And this isn't just a book of tips, it's more like a roadmap, really, for creating your own wine family. It emphasizes how incredibly accessible and rewarding this journey can be no matter where you are on your wine knowledge path. So it's easy to see the immediate appeal of a wine community. I mean, who doesn't want more friends who share a passion? But I'm curious, what does Mia's guide suggest are the deeper benefits, the ones that go beyond just finding fellow wine enthusiasts?
Well, what's truly fascinating, and the book really highlights this, is how a shared tasting session becomes this kind of collective intelligence for your palate.
Collective intelligence, how so?
You're not just tasting in isolation, right? You're learning to actually articulate subtle notes, like distinguishing between green apple and crisp pear, or maybe picking up that hint of wet stone you hadn't noticed before.
Ah,
And when
that.
someone else points out a flavor you missed, it's like a light bulb goes off. It trains your senses to look for that complexity next time. It
Right.
really accelerates your sensory understanding in a way solo tasting well, it never could.
That makes sense. And beyond just improving your palate, the guide talks about a pretty powerful social transformation. It mentions turning casual acquaintances into people you actually consider family. That's a pretty strong statement for just a wine group. Do you think that's truly achievable, or is it maybe a bit aspirational?
It does sound ambitious, doesn't it? But I think what the book implies is that wine, especially when it's shared with intention, acts as this unique social lubricant. It sparks conversation, it invites a little vulnerability maybe, and over time, those shared sips and discoveries,
Hmm.
they forge a bond. And that bond can absolutely feel like family, especially, for someone new to an area.
Hmm.
It offers this instant sort of organic sense of belonging.
Okay, so you're convinced of the why, the
Mhm.
benefits are clear, but you might be thinking, where do I even begin? Mia's guide has some fantastic advice here. Basically, don't overthink it.
Exactly.
It encourages starting incredibly small and simple, maybe inviting just, what, 3 to 5 wine-curious friends for that very first really low-key tasting.
Yeah, and Mia herself talks about her first wine night. It just blossomed from a casual chat with only 3 neighbors, and the theme was brilliantly simple. Bring your favorite red, under $15.
Under $15, okay.
Right. It just stripped away any pretension, made it super accessible, very low pressure for everyone involved. It's that initial ease that really gets the cork out of the bottle, so to speak.
And importantly, for keeping things going, a key piece of advice from the guide is rotating hosting duties. This isn't just about fairness, is it?
No, not at all. It's actually quite strategic. It prevents any one person from getting totally burnt out.
Right. Host burnout is real.
Totally. Plus, it naturally expands the group. As each person takes a turn hosting, they often invite 1 or 2 new friends. So the community grows gradually, but it still keeps that intimate, welcoming atmosphere.
That's smart.
And we learn that creative themes are absolute gold for those, maybe, Saturday wine nights? Ideas like wines from places you've traveled, or even labels that made you laugh.
Ah, I like that one.
Yeah. They're fantastic because they foster personal connections and conversation. They give everyone an easy entry point, regardless of how much they think they know about wine.
So you've started small, you've got those first few friends gathering, but what happens when the buzz starts to spread? When more people hear about the fun you're having? How do you scale that intimate vibe and reach a wider circle, especially, in today's digital world?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Mia Gibson shares this compelling anecdote about a simple post on Nextdoor.
Oh, yeah.
She literally just posted something like, "Wine lovers in Oakwood Heights." And the response was, well, she says overwhelming. Within 24 hours, 15 neighbors expressed interest.
15! Wow.
Yeah, it just shows the sheer power of these local digital platforms. You can instantly tap into that local interest and sort of gauge the potential before you commit to anything bigger.
Absolutely. And Mia's advice points to other powerful digital avenues too, like joining local Facebook groups. Whether they're specifically about wine or food or just general neighborhood connections, those can be a goldmine.
Yeah.
And of course, meetup.com is still a fantastic tool, right?
Definitely. You can find an existing group that maybe matches your vibe, or you can just create an entirely new one from scratch.
So lots of options there.
But a crucial tip for expanding digitally, according to the source, is to be very specific in your group descriptions.
Ah, good point. Why is that so important?
Well, are you looking for, say, serious collectors, ready to dissect complex vintages? Or are you more about casual sippers looking for budget-friendly discoveries and just good company? Being really clear up front helps attract the right crowd. It ensures everyone's kind of on the same page from the start.
Okay, makes sense. So you've used these tools, you've brought these great people together, but what truly makes those gatherings unforgettable? How do we move beyond just a wine night to the wine night everyone looks forward to? You know, where discoveries happen and conversations truly spark.
Right. Well, imagine the scene. Bottles shrouded in foil, a bit of suspense in the air. Mia recounts this blind taste test night.
Oh, I love blind tasting.
Yeah, and get this.
Oh.
A humble, like $12 bottle actually outshone the pricey contenders in the group's rankings.
No way. Really?
Yeah, she calls it hilariously revealing.
Mhm.
And it makes you really pause and wonder, doesn't it? How often do we let a price tag dictate our taste experience instead of truly trusting our own senses?
That's such a powerful point about challenging perceptions, but I wonder, what happens if someone's prized, expensive bottle comes in last? Does the guide offer any advice on handling those potentially awkward, hilariously revealing moments?
That's a fair question. The emphasis, from what I gather, is always on shared discovery and good humor. It's less about being right or wrong and more about just expanding your palate together.
Okay.
And realizing that, hey, great taste doesn't always come with a hefty price tag. It actually seems to foster a more open, less pretentious atmosphere, which is key.
That makes sense. Keep it light, keep it fun. Another fantastic idea from the guide is partnering with local wine shops.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Me's group, for instance, teamed up with a place called Cork and Barrel. Now, their members get 10% off featured monthly wines.
Nice perk.
And Cork and Barrel even hosts exclusive after-hours tastings just for them with their sommelier.
And having a sommelier involved, well, they aren't just wine experts, they're storytellers, really. They're often trained to identify a wine's unique narrative, its terroir, its journey from grape to glass.
Right.
They offer insights that truly unlock a wine's story, deepening your appreciation far beyond just, how it tastes.
And to elevate the experience even further, the guide really emphasizes incorporating food pairings.
Yes, crucial.
A wine and cheese night is a perfect example. Each attendee brings a specific complementary pairing. This naturally sparks discussion and deepens everyone's understanding of how flavors truly interact. It makes the event both educational and, frankly, deliciously social.
Absolutely. Food and wine together, it's a classic for a reason.
So as your wine community grows, maybe from 5 people to 15 or even more, maintaining that vibrant connection, keeping everyone engaged, it can become a bit of a logistical art form, right?
Yeah.
How do you keep it thriving and cohesive?
Yeah, that's a key challenge. The guide strongly emphasizes the need for a dedicated communication channel. It's vital. Mia's group, which had the funny name Cork Dorks of Cedar Street, they established WhatsApp group, and that became their central digital hearth, you could say. It's where inside jokes develop, where people arrange impromptu meetups.
Ah, so it keeps the connection going between the main event.
Exactly. That continuous hum of connection prevents the group from ever truly fizzling out.
Yeah.
It turns that initial casual interest into something more like unwavering loyalty.
It really fosters that consistent connection, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And another great tip from the book is to document your gatherings with photos.
Oh, definitely.
With permission, of course. But creating a shared album, or maybe using a unique Instagram hashtag, it not only builds great memories, but also helps new people kind of visualize the welcoming atmosphere before they even attend. It builds a sense of shared identity.
That's a really good point. And to keep the community growing organically, Mia suggests encouraging members to occasionally just bring one new person along.
Simple enough.
Yeah. And it also highlights how you can use special occasions, like bridal showers or milestone birthdays, maybe host a wine tasting party for those. That often attracts friends of friends who might just click and become permanent, valued members of the core group.
That's clever, using existing social events.
Okay, so Once your wine community has found its rhythm in people's homes, maybe at the local wine shop, how can it deepen connections by venturing beyond those settings? How do you take those friendships to the next level, maybe literally?
Well, the guide talks about the power of field trips. For Mia's group, their most anticipated event became an annual vineyard tour.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, members carpool to nearby wine regions for a full day of tastings, picnicking among the vines. It transforms a simple tasting into this shared adventure.
Yeah.
It really cements bonds outside the usual living room setting.
I can see that. And you could also attend regional wine festivals as a group that sounds like fun, like a collective exploration.
For sure. Or, for something a bit more curated, the guide suggests partnering with local restaurants for private wine pairing dinners. Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, often you can arrange for the chef or the sommelier to explain their choices.
Yeah.
Which adds this really nice educational and slightly luxurious layer to the meal.
But not everything has to be fancy or involve travel. Right.
Absolutely not. For budget-friendly outdoor options, the guide suggests simply meeting in local parks or even just members' backyards for sunset tastings.
Simple and nice.
Exactly. These relaxed, less structured settings often lead to surprisingly deeper conversations and, stronger, more authentic bonds than maybe some of the more formal indoor events. Sometimes the best talks happen in the simplest settings.
So ultimately, when we boil it all down, building a wine community isn't just about tasting different bottles, is it? It's really about transforming ordinary sips into these extraordinary experiences shared with friends who, as the book says, truly become like family.
Exactly.
It's about consistently creating these welcoming spaces where connection can just flourish.
Yeah. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, I think the beauty of these communities really lies in how accessible they are.
Right.
You don't need fancy decanters or extensive knowledge or, super expensive bottles to start. The most successful wine communities, based on this source, are the ones that manage to find that delicate balance.
A balance between what?
Between structure and spontaneity, I'd say. And between education and just pure enjoyment. It needs both.
That's a great way to put it. So here's something for you, our listener, to consider. Starting with something as simple as sharing a bottle of wine. It can not only expand your palate and knowledge in really surprising ways, but it can also cultivate this whole new circle of support and belonging, a circle that lasts long after the last drop is gone. So maybe grab your favorite corkscrew, send those first invites, even if it's just to a couple of people. Start building your wine community today. Your future wine friends are probably waiting to raise glass with you.